Screen Radar presents Film Dorks.
Welcome to Film Dorks Podcast Future. No, we're in the past.
This is now.
What happened to then?
You just missed it.
When?
Okay, so
Soon.
yeah, but
When would that be now?
Film Dorks. I'm Nick.
I'm Tom.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Jeff.
Oh,
Right, we
Jeffy's joining us.
I'm
It's
joining
Good
you
to
today.
have you, Jeff.
It's an OG cast.
It is.
Yeah, I like to. I'm like the surprise guest on the sitcom.
We have internet personality Jeff Heller.
That's right. I'm happy to be here, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's July now, and I don't know, the pandemic's sort of over, but
Yeah.
not really. It's trying to
Oregon,
come back.
but
maybe,
Oregon just
but we
opened up today. Everybody's open. It's been like that in
Nice.
Idaho forever.
Well, it's just 'cause,
June
like, you were,
15th
like-
here. It's been here for 2 weeks. We've been
Nice.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here in New York, and we've been open for a little while now. I'm also out in the sticks, so really, it's been open for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
never
around
really
here
shut,
for
yeah.
a while now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that means
But
that
that means the movie
are
theaters
open.
are open.
Back
Yeah.
at the movies. The movies.
But everybody here has gone to the theaters at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Tom and I have gone multiple times.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some new movies or recent movies that we've seen in the theaters, and maybe mention one or two others that were on demand and all that good stuff. But I mean, going back to the theaters it's actually awesome.
It's been so great.
It really was. It was, first of all, theaters in general right now, for the last 10 years or so, has been a pleasant experience just going. They're relaxing, they're big, they're comfy. But it was just
A lot of them you can get drinks in too.
Yeah.
right.
The indie theater scene in Portland, I wrote a whole article for Screen Radar about how the pandemic kicked the shit out of a lot of them. And
Right.
they were maybe going to close, but most of them have hung on. So that's what I did when I was visiting Portland last week. I made sure to go to an independent theater and see a movie.
That's
and
great.
yeah, you get a pizza, you get a beer, you get a movie, and you spend like $20 for all of it. It's incredible.
I will say,
you get pictures. You get pictures of beer.
we are Screenwriter is working with a local theater here in Western New York, the Joyland Theater, if you're in the area, and we have provided the pre-movie entertainment for them, trivia, stuff like that.
It's great.
So I've been in there a couple times now, and it's an old theater, it's an indie film theater, and it's glorious. It's a beautiful theater, but this is something about being in an old theater. It's fantastic.
Agreed. Although, granted, I did
Yeah.
also go to a nice, comfy theater, and it was like a matinee show, and there was maybe like 3 other people in there, and we had the big, comfy seat, and the feet came up. It was like a lounge chair,
Yeah.
but they didn't have any booze because I was in Idaho, and I was like, "Fuck! If I knew this, I would have brought a flask. I would have ate edibles." Like, I'm just so used to having access to all that
That's
stuff.
what I always get really baked before the movies. But
Gotta
Tom
do
and I
it,
have been
yeah.
going to we've been whoring ourselves out to a lot. Well, that's not true. The last one we went to was at independent theater, but
Yeah, we went
comfy
to
ones.
the Wembley Theater.
Yeah.
And we saw. Did we see Army of the Dead at that new AMC theater? Is that what it was?
mhm.
There's a mall near us here in North Hollywood that just got built during the pandemic, and they put a brand new theater in, which kind of blew my mind because I mean I've heard forever that theaters are like on the way out and stuff.
Right.
But this one has been open for like a month. It's just sparkling new. Everything's like just top of the line. The seats recline.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's super
Yeah,
comfy.
Can you get
the
beer?
Floors aren't even. Yeah,
Nice.
the
See,
floors
that's what I
aren't
mean.
even
Like,
sticky yet.
yeah, the
Wine,
new
beer.
theater experience is so great.
And
And
the
honestly,
prices for booze is not that bad. when
No.
you
I was
compare
gonna
it
just
to
ask
bar
about that. I mean,
prices.
is it like going to like a football game where they're charging?
No.
no,
$20
it's
for a
cheaper.
beer?
No.
I mean,
like
not as bad.
$10 for a beer. I mean, it's like if I went out to the bar, $9 for but not bad. Not
but this
shit
is
beer,
why I
not like
love Portland,
Coors.
guys. In Portland, they have local breweries that will sell their beer there, and it's like $5.
That's great.
Or like Rainier,
not-
you can get
it's
like
not
a
that
pint
cheap.
of. You can get a what's it called? A jug, not a
Handle.
jug. You get a handle of Rainier for like $6 for like a pint. It's crazy, or for like the handle. Anyway,
It's okay.
no, but like theaters are never going away. which is great. Which what they have to do is what they are doing, which is make it a better experience, make it more of an experience, right? Like I love where they have Q&As with directors and actors and double features and whatever they need to do to like capture an audience, make it more of an event, make it more fun, make it more interesting. I mean, they're never going to go away. And I just think it's going to be a reinvention, and I'm so glad to have them back.
Totally. Yeah, the Lumley theaters here do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And what is most poetic justice I've seen in a long time, not justice, but poetic. The film that kind of brought back live theater going experience was A Quiet Place 2, which is the one that pretty much ended it a year and a half ago.
Isn't that crazy?
John Krasinski was actively promoting the film.
Yeah.
They had the premiere and then it shut down. So that was the first the movie to come back into theaters, which I thought was great.
It's made a ton of money though. Like I think they gave him like double the budget from the first one. So he'd only directed, I think, 1 or 2 films previously, maybe 1 feature. And so he didn't have a huge track record. So even a known person who has all the contacts in the world, it's still not so easy to get a film to screen.
Right.
And so he made that first Quiet Place, which, who here was a fan of the first one? Like who liked that?
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, but I liked it. I thought it was effective.
By the time I saw it, it was really overhyped.
I think so. Same here.
So it didn't hit me as much as maybe some of the people who first saw it, but I thought it was well made. It was good.
It was a really solid creature feature on a small budget. And I remember seeing it thinking like, you know what? He did so much with so little. Like, and the idea of, I don't know the guys that wrote the script, because it was somebody else wrote the original idea and then he adapted it.
Right.
But it was a really interesting concept. And the best thing they ever did was keep it as simple as possible. Just a few actors, just a few locations. And that lends itself to really good indie horror, right? Like just keep the scope small.
And like as a sound professional, I was intrigued by the idea that everybody has to be quiet, and you know, that allowed them to really like build on the whole sound design thing, and
and build a lot of tension.
They did that extremely well, and they did it again on this one.
Right? Wasn't this idea the sequel? So let me put it this way: like, do you think it was a smart idea for them to wait to for the theaters? Right? Like, I feel like the smartest thing they ever did was say, let's wait a year, because that was one film I wanted to see in the theaters for that. It wasn't for the visuals. It's what Tom was talking about. I was like, they're going to create a soundscape I cannot get at home.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a $10,000 stereo at home, like, you know, cool. But
yeah, most of us don't.
I thought I better than the original.
I thought it was better than the original.
Did it total justice.
I think overall, I think some people think it was slightly less as effective as the first one was. I that's what I read online. I thought it was better personally. I thought it was better than the first one.
Well, I'll say what they did right as a sequel is they expanded the universe. They kept it like a little bigger budget. You could tell like he got a little bit more, but he didn't go crazy with it. He filled in like the. I love that they did the flashback at the top that really kind of got a chance just to meet everybody again from the first one.
Right.
It was like
there was a little suspension of disbelief especially with the son.
The ages of the sons.
He's like 5. He's like 4 years older now, and visibly 4 years older now. And the flashback took place like a year before the first one.
Yeah, but honestly, I was like, I don't give a shit. It's like Evil Dead 2 being a retread of the first one. Like, just do a good job, even if that's straining. I don't care. Like, as long as you commit to the concept and execute it well. And I was like, I love seeing a little bit of the explanation of the aliens showing up, like you know, when the zombies attack the town instead of after they've already. It was nice to see that, but they didn't lean too heavy into it. And then it was such a sleek screenplay, like the first one. There's no fat on that fucking screenplay.
That opening shot too is one take. It's not one take, but it's one shot.
Yeah.
There's I think only one or two hidden edits in it, and that's it.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you the how they approach the world building is what worked better for me, like where they filled in some gaps, but they still kept it a mystery.
Well, see, that's what I thought worked the best point of this movie was the fact that how it built the world out. Yeah. And did it in a way that kept it still kind of claustrophobic and kept it really kind of tight knit and closer to home. You know, it wasn't like, Quiet Place 3, China. You know,
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. Quiet Place 3, Tokyo Drift. It takes place at this giant fucking parking ramp in Tokyo. But I thought the world building was really good, and I like Cillian Murphy, the addition of Cillian Murphy.
Oh, dude, I was like,
he's great.
And what they did with his character, where it was like everything was very small, like the character arcs were small. It was almost like a TV episode where you just had to see them get from point A to point B. But the majority of the focus was on the children, and I love that.
Yeah. And she's really
the lead actress did a great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. But what's her name? We should give her proper credit. I'll take a look right now.
But she carried a good chunk of the plot on her shoulders, and she thought she did a great job.
Yeah, and the fact that they used ASL for a lot of it and subtitled it. And, you know, like
Millicent Simmons.
There you go.
There you go.
She did a great job. I mean, truly, carried that movie on her shoulders.
You know, it's thing I don't, especially this one. I didn't see it as a horror film. I saw it more of I think it was much as a horror film as Jurassic Park is.
Yeah, it's a monster flick. I mean, has suspense. It has jump scares, which they did great with both, of building suspense and building jump scares. But you're not going to be like terrified. You're not going to be like feel icky watching it or creeped out. Like that's just not monster movies.
I mean, there's not even really a whole lot of gore. There's a couple of times when the monsters get fragged.
And the less is more, right? Like they don't show a lot. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it felt like a really good episode of The Walking Dead.
It's just when The Walking Dead was good. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with like those Marauder guys and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't spoil it because I mean it's still out.
We shouldn't spoil it, but I like that they didn't make the decision of making the humans so depraved, and also like I was like, I'm not gonna be into any kind of rapey, weird sexual vibe things that Walking Dead did over and over again, and like and thankfully people can know they don't go there in this film. They don't.
One thing The Walking Dead never really had was hope.
Yes, and this film is all about hope.
Right.
And you're right. That's why you can watch this one and feel good coming out of the theater. Yeah. It's a great experience. It's definitely worth seeing in the theater. So out of all the ones we're going to talk to today, I definitely recommend. It's still out. It's making gangbusters money. It was very smart.
Yeah, it's still in theaters, so you can still grab it now. So definitely check it out.
I was going to say, should we move on to one that's not so brilliant?
Which
depends on which one you want to go to. We have a few.
Well, let's stick with the monster stuff, I guess, and talk about the Conjuring.
The devil made me do it. Conjuring, It Will Never End universe.
What did I call this one when I texted you guys? Because it's so silly. The title. Oh, listen, can I just say, the title alone made me not want to watch this film. The devil made me do it. It sounds so silly. I'm gonna find it while you guys talk. Yeah, the devil made me murder. Oh my god, it's so cheesy. The title, anyway.
I should note, I like Patrick Wilson a lot as an actor.
I like both of them. I actually, all right. So we should
not in this.
We should talk about how the Conjuring universe it's its own universe. Like, how many films have they made now at this point?
And isn't it an offshoot of the Annabelle?
10.
It's an offshoot of all of them.
No, the Annabelle is not. Everything's an offshoot of the first Conjuring film. That started the universe. Then it's all the Annabelle movies. The Nun movie is part of the universe.
Annabelle.
Fuck, there was another one.
Two Nun, Two Bell.
Lorena one is part of the universe. And this is
Annabelle
the third Conjuring.
Boogaloo.
Yeah. But this is the third Conjuring one in it. Yeah, it's the devil is a bad guy. Conjuring 3, the devil is really naughty.
The devil made me do it. It's just the dumbest fucking name.
Okay, so here, I hate to give spoilers, but here's the whole plot to the film.
There's no devil.
Scary music opens. Lorraine serving tea. And then exorcism, explain. The other guy's possessed, explain. He's not possessed, explain. Uh-oh, Satan. Explain some more Satan. A lot of Satan, scary. It's everybody's okay.
Well, I
That's
feel like I
pretty
was
much the plot of the film.
equally entertained by your description of the movie. Yeah. Well, the thing that the Conjuring universe, the reason I like them, it's like going to a haunted house on Halloween. There'll be suspense, there'll be mood, there'll be jump scares. And is it like the best films? No, but it's like I know what I want to buy a ticket for, which is it's like going to a haunted house. I want to be in that mood and feel those things. And not once through this entire film did I feel anything. And that's what sucks, because even the Annabelle ones, they got really weird and creative throughout the series, like Annabelle 2, whatever. What's the one with the sleepover?
The Annabelle, that one was like the best one. Was like, Annabelle 3.
They found ways
it was actually the best of this whole universe.
No, they found ways that even though you think like, how can they make this work over and over again in movies? They've done it before. So this is not like, I actually had high hopes because I truly do really love the leads. I think those two characters who are like the superheroes of the Catholic universe, right? Aren't they like, it's all about like their superheroes fighting. If you ever watch Supernatural, the show, like the Winchesters, like I like this genre of like religious superheroes. Like
the Winchesters are going to be a series now, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to do the parents of it.
The parents, yeah.
No, but like, so I like this idea, and I like the leads. You said Patrick Wilson, and what's the name? Vera Farmiga.
Marigan,
whatever her name is. I loved her. Everything she's in, she like overperforms. She's exceeds in everything she's in. She was in Up in the Air originally, where I first started clocking her with George Clooney. Fucking great film that she's like really great in. But anyway, so love the leads, love their characters. They've done such a good job in so many previous films, and they can't do anything. Half the film, the guy has a spoiler, but like one of the dudes is in the hospital. And Patrick, the lead, you don't even see.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like that setup, and there's no real payoff at all for that, and it's ridiculous. And like,
no, I thought he was going to die. They'd have to go into the other world, but they did that in like 4 other films.
Ended up being like this like weird foil to Lorraine, and Lorraine being, and he's just this like, I'm gonna help. My heart, where's my pills? It was ridiculous.
It was so. No, and I thought that was going to play into
all
it.
All they did is explain the plot to you.
Yeah,
every scene explained the last scene and what was about to happen, and then it recapped the last scene and explained the next scene. I
was expecting those pills to really be a pivotal thing. I was like, all right, at least that's going to be like a pivot. Nope, they just forgot about it by the end. Like it's just.
So the other thing is like, so it's the devil made me do it, but it's really about a witch.
Yeah, where was the devil?
Or a Satanist. Yeah. And the whole idea, the amount of times they said Satan and Satanist in this movie, I'm like, what is this fucking satanic panic 1980s again? Like. What this,
I think it was supposed to be though, but it was supposed to be. Then they never did anything with it.
But they don't use that. They don't incorporate it.
Were they freaking out about AC/DC albums or anything? At least
no. There's just
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad I did not see that one in the theaters. I watched that one at home. Did you guys see this in the theater or at home on HBO?
I saw it at home.
You poor bastard.
Well, was it at least like a decent theatrical experience with the sound and the visuals? No.
No. He's like, no.
I mean, it sucks.
Macho Man says no.
Yeah. By the way, Tom, I'm so jealous of Tom's T-shirt game. He always shows up with the best shit.
I mean, he's got Macho Man in the Macho Man glasses.
That's right. Yeah.
It's
or is that what was his name in Spider-Man?
Bonesaw.
That's right. All right, so that movie sucked. Shall we go on to another movie that sucked?
What's the next
second away?
Well, I mean, I saw. Are we going in order, or should I just start talking about F9?
Just do it. Just pull the Band-Aid off.
F9.
Yeah. Okay. So, the other day it was 105 in LA or something, and I just decided that I was gonna go get out of the heat for a while.
Oh yeah.
And I decided to go see F9 after not having seen any of them since Too Fast, Too Furious. And let me tell you, it's not about car racing anymore. That's for damn sure.
I haven't seen them since the first one was the last one I saw, and I barely enjoyed that one.
I have one question for you, Tom. Yeah. Did they moonraker this one? Do they go to space?
Yes. Only 2 people.
I knew it.
We've been talking about this for a while with this new movie coming out, like they're gonna go to space. It's
gonna
come up a
moonraker
few
this
times,
shit.
and they did it.
Yep.
They moonraked
Yeah.
It looks like a movie
and-
about
and-
Matchbox cars at this point.
Well, they went to space. Ludacris and Taye Diggs go to space in a Pontiac Fiero, and
Everything you're saying sounds right.
not only that, but they're wearing diving bells, like 1800 style diving suits, and
Excellent.
they crash the car into a satellite and then spacewalk to the International Space Station.
Are you making this up?
Yeah, are you making
No,
this shit
I swear to
up?
God, that's part of the plot.
Is Roger Moore there?
No.
Damn it.
Spoiler alert.
but-
That would have been a great cameo. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But so the plot is that okay. There's so much ridiculous shit about this. So considering the first movie, they were stealing DVD players, like that was
Right.
the plot.
They were
Is this
street
undercover?
racing. The whole point was supposed to be about racing on the
Yeah.
street.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. So in this one, Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez are living off the grid on a farm somewhere in the middle of nowhere
It's
with
about
a little
farming.
kid. They have a little kid, and all of a sudden the rest of the gang just shows up out of nowhere, and they're like, "Yo,
Are they
we
up
got
in
this secret
Ojai?
message." Sure, I think they're
Sure.
But so the rest of the gang shows up and like, "Yo, we got this secret message from dude, and he's in trouble, and he sent us the coordinates, and we got to go get this thing, right?" And like Vin Diesel's like, "No, we don't do that anymore." And then Michelle Rodriguez is like, "No, I'm in." So she just like takes her off on a.
She's like,
fucking
I'm stuck in a
motorcycle.
farm with Vin Diesel. Just fucking get
then-
me
so
out of
here-
here.
Send me to space,
So-
whatever it takes.
So here's where it gets stupid. So Vin Diesel sees this medallion that he recognizes from somebody, and then all of a sudden he's on board, right? And he leaves the kid. Like they don't show him leaving the kid, but they also don't show him like handing the kid off to his cousin
Grandma?
or
Dave?
anything. Like
Neighbor.
he's just
CPS?
gone, and they don't
just
talk about the kid
Boots
again.
the kid in the head and tosses him in a barn.
And I mean, he's like 5 years old, maybe. So anyway,
I guess
so
it's
Vin
not all
Diesel's now
about
on
family,
board.
Vin.
Exactly. So, well, this is where it gets better. So the guy who he recognizes the thing with, of course, is John Cena, and John Cena plays Vin Diesel's brother. Okay.
It's a late addition
Surprise!
for another brother.
He's a new character in the 9th movie that's all about family, and they've never talked
Wait.
about his brother.
Is it because of 23andMe? Do they realize they have like a half brother? Because
Yeah.
that would make
No. They go. There's tons of flashbacks in this
all
movie,
right.
and they go to like
Because that would
old-
be a good way to
footage.
explain it. Like, Dad got the 23andMe. Guess we have a brother. That
BTW.
happened in my
They're-
family, by the way. BTW.
Yeah.
We'll get into
They're
that
both
after
at
the
the-
podcast.
All right.
All right. They're both at the racetrack when Vin Diesel's dad dies. And like John Cena is apparently 3 feet shorter than he is in modern times. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, so anyway, so there's that's not even the plot. So there's this like
That's the
Internet
backstory for one
thing.
character,
there's this
the
there's this
villain.
electronic thing that can take remote control of all weapons systems on the planet through the internet or the dark web or some kind of bullshit, and which is the same plot of like 3 other Fast movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was
there's,
like,
like, some
in Die Hard,
mysterious-
like 7 or something had that.
I was
right?
going to say
Yeah,
one of the
there's some,
Bonds
like,
too, I think,
mysterious
right?
electronic whatchamajigger. And anyway, so they have to go all around the world and find the secret pieces and put them together before the bad guys get them. And then the bad guys get them, and it goes up to the satellite, and then they have to send Ludacris up into space and save the day.
I mean, that's the
And-
only thing that's made sense so far, is sending
You know,
Ludacris
when
out of space.
when I first saw this trailer in the movie theater, and it obviously doesn't cover the stupidity of the actual plot, but enough of it, where I was like, it felt like I was watching like a Saturday Night Live spoof fucking movie
Oh,
trailer.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
so ridiculous. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
yep,
and like just
do
like
end
The
up in
Conjuring,
space.
every line of dialogue is like, "Hey, we got to go to this place and get this thing."
Yeah.
and like And then the next scene is they're going to the place and they get
Place
the
and
thing,
getting
and
the
then
thing.
stuff blows up.
But then you got to
And
get the
then
next,
oh,
go to the next place and get the next thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like Tomb Raider. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to places and getting things. That's the whole movie.
Which, by the
Wow,
way, good
so
name for
really
a
good.
movie, going to places, getting things. I feel like we should write the
Yeah,
Hollywood
right?
script called that, and it would make
Go-
$1 billion.
go- Yeah.
So
So
anyway,
there's
okay.
that.
So if you like running and punching and
I
people
do.
driving ridiculous cars
I do.
and making no sense at all,
Uh,
then sure. Go
It should
see
be
it.
noted that The Rock and Jason Statham have bailed from this series, correct?
No,
Yes.
so there's a post-credit scene with Jason Statham in it.
Oh, okay, forget that.
of
Take it
course.
back then.
I
Maybe
never
The
saw
Rock
Hobbs and
bailed.
Shaw, but I was gonna watch that one because I
That
love
one I
when
was
they-
actually interested in.
Well, I love when they resurrect the series with those guys.
Presumably, F10 is gonna have Jason Statham in it. I'm
When
guessing.
are they making F Troop?
After FU.
It's a remake of F Troop,
That's the
but it's with
prequel
the
where they're
cast
all in
of Fast and
college.
Furious.
Can I
Yeah.
write a review for this film and just call it FU and that's it? It'll just be FU.
Yeah.
Have I told you what I call these movies though? These are plane movies. So the reason I call them that is I used to only watch them when I traveled internationally because I could be 3 whiskeys deep on a Xanax, start the movie, fall asleep, wake up halfway through. Doesn't matter. I can just keep watching it. I didn't miss anything. I'm not confused by the plot because it's what are they doing? Oh, they're going to a place. They're getting things. There you go.
Yeah.
These are the ultimate plane movies. So I've seen almost all of them.
Well,
Okay, so now maybe we need a
good
little
movie?
bleach for our brains.
A little
Yeah.
palate
Yeah.
cleanser. We need a palate cleanser, guys.
Yeah, so let's talk about a good movie.
yeah, Tom and I went to the Lamel, which is a locally owned independent chain here in LA, and saw Gaia, which is this
Isn't it with
movie.
Angelina Jolie? Oh, that's G.
No. Yeah, that's Gia.
Equally terrifying, I think.
Now, this is a sequel to Gigli.
Bauer directed this.
Yeah, give us a little
Movie,
background on this film.
I don't know what country this was shot in, but
Oh, it's
I'll
South
look it
Africa.
up, guys.
so this
No, it
these
was
two,
South Africa.
It was South Africa. Okay,
Yeah.
so these two forest rangers in South Africa are canoeing through the jungle, and they're going to check on these cameras, and they end up running into these two kind of off the grid guys living deep in the jungle, who and the one gets injured and they get separated, and then the other, these off the grid weird dudes covered in mud and stuff, kind of creepy, take her into the house, and then all of a sudden there's these creatures, and it's got this. It's basically
there's a lot of noises first.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of creepy noise. They do an amazing job with the score and the soundtrack. They don't show the creatures a ton. When they do, they're fucking really effective, but it's a lot of noisescape and just kind of unsettling and just disturbing. You're just really fucking creeped out, and you're ugh, it feels awful.
Yeah, at first I thought that this was about if you watch the trailer, it kind of makes you think that it's about some kind of psychedelic bad trip or something, because
Well,
There's
I
a
like
lot
that.
of
I like
is.
that genre. I like the psychedelic.
It-
bad
Yeah, I
trip
mean,
genre.
It is. It's the psychedelic horror. It's a psychedelic
Yeah.
man versus nature horror. Because the
But-
creatures kind of had that the Guillermo del Toro vibe going for them, and it did have to do
Yeah.
a little
very
fantastic.
directly with mushrooms, and this dude worships Gaia, and the earth, and it gets really fucking weird with some of the backstory, and it's just there's some body horror going on in it, and it's
Is it
it's
kind
a
of like jungle
fucking-
folk horror too? Like these people
yeah,
who
a
are more
little bit,
in touch with the earth. Okay.
sort of,
but
but
not
well, so
quite.
they build a lot of tension, especially with this woman being alone under these two guys' care, and they're really creepy. They're really they behave bizarrely, and it's really unclear as to what's going to happen, and especially with all the imagery that they keep seeing and all these weird rituals that these guys are doing. And
well, there's also this
like,
whole aspect of the spores and these spores
Yeah.
that the mushrooms give off that like he worships the earth, and how we've come to this point where it's at this tipping point where just the next match is going to burn it all down, and the earth is sick of us, and it's spitting out these spores, and it works on so many different levels. Sometimes it gets mildly heavy-handed in its message to some degree, but it's also coming from a very fanatical place, and it plays on like religious fanaticism and like environmentalism,
and it's not even super heavy on dialogue either. Like it's
no,
it's kind of a light dialogue movie, and it's really heavy on like this really cool imagery and really cool sound design, and it's very claustrophobic and
yeah, which
like
was
kind of like,
impressive.
yeah, they
Super
did an awesome
claustrophobic.
job at it, and like shooting out in the woods and in the jungle especially is like not easy. So I mean,
Definitely not.
Right,
the stuff that they achieved with this,
it's
like it has a
amazing.
really solid look, and it's not a big movie for sure. It's there's only 4 people in it,
No,
and
yeah, it's not fast paced, and it's not like fast paced in your face horror. This is really
yeah,
brooding and uncomfortable, and it's very old school in the use of like sound and imagery and like color. It's super psychedelic. It's incredibly psychedelic film. I fucking love this movie. It was amazing. One of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Well, so anyway, so this film you can see though in the theaters, right? I couldn't find it
Yeah,
in
if you
Boise or in
can.
Portland. I think in LA, it has a limited
think
release probably,
Yeah, I don't think, but it is available on demand
but it
now.
is on Amazon and on a
It
few
just
other
came
ones.
out this week. Everything, like whatever you got, you'll be able to find.
Well, I'm gonna try to
it's
watch
on
it
your
Gaia.
Game Boy.
I like supporting these little indie horror films. Like I always love like spend the $3, whatever, $6. It's way cheaper typically than a ticket to go to the theaters. So if it's not in your area, like I always love supporting these little indie thrillers, indie
It's
horror
well
films.
acted, and it's it's fucking, it's just, I thought it's solid, really
Cool.
solid horror.
And I haven't seen a lot of films from South Africa, so I'm always looking for
not mainstream though. If you love The Conjuring, you'll probably hate Gaia.
Yeah,
You mean
and
Conjuring
vice versa.
4, 5,
Yes.
whatever.
Right. So, which brings us, I want to talk about one more film
Sure.
that I think some of us have seen. And this one I didn't get to see in the theaters. I don't know if it had any theatrical release. I don't think so, but it came out
I
on
don't remember
demand.
seeing
And
it
it's
advertised for theater. It might have been a victim of the pandemic, but so yeah, Riders of Justice. It's a Danish film starring Mads Mikkelsen and a bunch of other Danish people. And he plays a military guy who's long in his career, and he's got kind of a rocky relationship with his wife and his daughter, and he's kind of emotionally distant, and the wife and the daughter are on a subway train, and this guy is sitting down on the subway train, and he sees them standing, and so he offers his seat to the mother, and like 10 seconds after she takes the seat, the subway blows up, and she's dead, and the guy lives and the daughter lives, and it was said to be an accident, but the guy who gave up his seat has some hacker friends, and he determines that it was an assassination.
not an accident, right? And
yeah,
and it starts out as a revenge story, where like Mads Mikkelsen comes back, and he's such an emotional disaster as a human being, and he gets tied up with these who are what's really interesting about this movie is how it tonally shifts, because these 3 guys that he gets wrapped up in are kind of like the lone gunman in the X-Files. They're sort of ridiculous, and there's this really ridiculous sense of humor layered in with this really heavy emotional arc for all the characters. It really gets into these characters and how broken these individuals all are. And it definitely has some really kind of crazy, violent, brutal scenes. But when I watched the trailer, I thought it was just going to be like Mads Mikkelsen going fucking Born
Dirty
Identity,
Harry.
but
Yeah.
but it's not quite that, and it has a way deeper emotional arc to it, and just this weird comedic tone. I mean, there's a couple scenes where I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
They really push the humor. I don't want to give anything away, but
So is it a comedy action thriller? Like, it sounds like it was a mashup of a lot of
yeah,
weird
I
genres.
it's a comedy. It's not really an action thriller. It's more of a comedy revenge drama.
Yeah, it sounds like it defies genres.
It does, and it oddly it works amazingly. It's really fucking good.
The way that they weave these arcs together and like sort of slowly reveal this stuff and resolve it all, you know, it's just like, it's seamless and it's brilliant, and it's all subtitles. So if you're not into foreign language films, then
learn to fucking read.
Sorry.
Then.
Yeah. But
amazing performances all the way around.
Yeah.
And Mikkelsen is
like is probably the best working actor right now. Like, I think he's anything he's in.
I think he is absolutely.
I'm gonna go on a little like rant for a second and just say that, like, people who say they don't want to watch films because they're like, because of subtitles. Listen, if you have like a visual impairment, okay, or there can probably be some excuse why I'm not going to hate you so deeply. But I'll say that, like, if you're dismissing so many other films across the world because you just don't want to read subtitles, I'm like, you cannot remake. I can guarantee you cannot remake some of these films in America because it's just not going to have the right tone and attitude. Like,
you mean like
After
Boy?
Hour? No, or like another round, which with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, they're remaking.
They're remaking, and I'm like, even if you remake it, sure, maybe you'll do an American version that has
it's going to be Bradley Cooper and what's Steve Carell.
But listen, I think it's actually Leonardo DiCaprio, who I have no interest in seeing in this role. But like, no, but the idea being, like, sure, you might be able to remake it, but it's like, it's not going to come from the same place, the same tone, the same like cultural experience. Like, that's why that film works. And Mads Mikkelsen is incredible in it.
I think back at a lot of the films handful of the screenings I had before everything shut down, the critic screenings were foreign films. Mm-hmm. And I think back on them, the fact that they were foreign and I had to read, it's so not relevant to my.
I bet you don't even remember reading it. Like, you don't. You're caught up in the film.
Not at all.
But what you're doing is you're cutting yourself off if you don't want to watch these films from cultural perspectives, different ideas, different ways of doing things, different feelings that, like, I swear to God, are just untranslatable. That's my rant, and I'll just say that this movie that you just described, Riders of Justice, I'm like, I also read a little bit of it. I saw a little trailer thing, and what you described is not the film I thought it was. So I'm very curious to see it. It sounds like a weird.
I mean, I wanted to see it anyways, because as soon as I saw Mads Mikkelsen kick in a door, I'm like, and with a beard, I'm sold. But because I was expecting the same movie that you're thinking of, and it's just not that.
All right, no, I'm fine with that.
It's so much better for it, you know.
Yeah. They just released the images of Mads as from the new Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, his version of the Grindelwald that Johnny Depp played.
Which they probably should have just cast him originally. I'm like, no diss on Johnny, but like, come on, I'm sick of that guy. Like,
is this the new Harry Potter Dark Universe series?
Yes,
it's the Fantastic Beasts films. So
he also said that he's done playing bad guys.
Who, Mads?
He wants to play good guys. Yeah, Mads.
Whatever. He can play Hannibal.
He's sick of it.
He can play Hannibal. I'm fine with it. You just keep being Hannibal. Keep eating people. It's fine.
I know. Please keep making people look delicious. Anyways,
of all the movies that we talked about today, Riders of Justice is by far the best film.
Really?
And then
yeah,
cool.
And then Gaia.
Okay.
they're both fucking amazing films.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. Quiet
are
Place 2 was a good
unexpected,
monster
but-
film, but it's a good monster film. Like
Yeah,
it's
not brilliant.
not gonna blow you away, but
And the
it'll be
other
a fun
two
ride. Yeah.
were just horrendous. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna see any of the two movies we talked about today, it's Gaia and definitely Riders of Justice.
Well, I got to see both of those. So thank you for the
So,
recs.
So that is that.
And if you can go
You're
see them in
welcome.
the movie theaters, because the movie theaters
Yeah.
need all the help
Yeah.
they can get.
Yeah, for sure. And indie theaters,
it's worth it.
even the big blockbuster theaters, go and spend a little money, see
Just
a
go
film,
see
take your
whatever
friends. Yeah.
whatever movie you want to see. Go see it in the theater.
Even Fast
For
9. If you're a fan of
Christ's
Fast
sakes,
9,
if you
God bless
can.
you. Enjoy it. Buy some big popcorn.
Yeah,
Eat some edibles. Have a good time.
yeah.
Eat your popcorn out of a
All right.
giant rim.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk about movies again. Do something.
Yeah, what are we doing next time, y'all?
I don't know,
coming out?
man. I liked your psychedelic movie idea.
I would love to do
I
that.
think we should talk about Kenneth Anger
Ooh, okay. I mean,
and maybe Russ Meyer.
we could do
Yeah.
we could do like B titty
Like just
movies and
60s
gay gay counterculture. That would be fucking awesome. I'd be into
Yeah.
that.
Why not? We'll get
Why not?
crazy.
Biker movies. we
Anyhow,
could just do
we'll be
fucking
back with
biker movies.
something.
All right. Well, we're gonna go offline, make a decision, and then let everybody know.
I do want to note too. This is the 25th anniversary of Escape from LA. This year,
The what?
Escape
wow.
from
From
LA.
LA.
25th?
You know, we also
Yeah.
never finished John Carpenter's career. And
Right.
by the way, do you know what movie we left off? We were like, They Live is his best final movie. We fucking forgot In the Mouth of Madness, which is awesome. And I will forever be offended
It's
that
pretty
I said
good.
that. I love In the Mouth of Madness. And I was like, that's a great film. And it's one of the best adaptations of H.P. Lovecraft. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I dissed on my boy, my mentor, my fucking, the reason I got into films is John Carpenter, and I dissed him. Damn it.
Harsh.
Harsh.
I don't know. They Live is still a better movie though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to argue against that. All right.
But
But we'll
In the Mouth of
decide.
Madness was good. All right,
We
we'll figure
will
it out.
decide what our next
Maybe
one
we'll
is.
put a poll up on screenradar.com or,
Yeah,
Good idea.
Instagram or one of
Twitters
those.
or wherever
Facebook,
we are,
yeah.
and the things and the
Yeah.
stuff. Are we
All right.
TikToking
So
yet,
if you're-
guys?
I can reach out to my nieces and nephews and
My
get them
my
to-
daughter, my 17-year-old daughter, offered to do it for us.
Please,
I know.
like.
I don't think we should do it.
Okay.
I don't think
we're
we
not-
should
probably
do
not.
it.
We're too old for that.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's a bad idea. All right,
guys.
well, we'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.
Adios.
All right, this has been another Film Dorks podcast.
Yes, it
I'm
has.
Tom.
I'm Nick.
I'm Lucas.
That's creepy.
Yeah, brother.